Hey guys, hey, welcome to the very first content creator chat. Before I get into the whole chat, the whole idea of this content creator chat is, or it was inspired by just the conversations I was having with fellow content creators, and because I'm also a social media manager, when working with brands, they had their own questions and issues with working with content creators, and then the content creators also had issues working with the brands. So I said, since I'm in the middle, let's just have a chat where it starts the conversation and we can hear from both sides, kind of like squash some of the myths, the questions, the issues, the grievances, the misconceptions of the whole content creation space. So our first guest is Janelle Juridine. She is a travel connoisseur. Hey! She travels in Jamaica. She does mainly content about, the nice spots in Jamaica, the rivers, the beaches, the staycations, the hotels, the food. So if you want a whole guide on how to do Jamaica the right way.
And
beyond, because it's not just Jamaica. You can check out Janelle's page. My very first guest, and I'm going to drill you. So I hope you're ready for all the questions.
Hey, I feel like a guinea pig, but these are conversations that we need to
have them because there's too much confusion.
And too much disrespect.
And
underappreciation.
Oh gosh, man. So we really want to talk about it today. As you can tell, we have a lot to get off of our chest.
Have to talk about it.
And I hope the brand managers and all the brands would be able to watch stuff like this and kind of understand from both sides of the fence, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you, or what inspired you to become a content creator in the first place?
The long and short answer of that is vacation.
Or if you just want some free vacation?
Not really. So, as we said earlier, I'm a travel blogger. So, when I got the yes moment to say, this is what I'm going to do, it was, I think, 2016. I made a New Year's resolution to just explore more places because Instagram, they just start get hot and me start see some 1 and 2 places in Jamaica. I said, hold on, where this exists? So I started saving and noting some places I want to visit. And I said, all right, January morning, I'm going to make a list of places in my home country that I want to explore or explore at this age. And then that same year, I said, I want to travel because at the time I hadn't traveled in maybe 3 years. So I called up my 2 childhood friends, my 2 oldest friends, and said, let's do a trip. Went on a cruise to the Bahamas. Was lovely. And when I came home, I was like, I don't want to wait once a year to gallivant and enjoy myself. So I said, all right, the weekends, staycation. And I just started traveling Jamaica regularly. And I'm a camera artist ever since I was 15, 16. So everything I have, I post it up on Facebook or previous days, MySpace, High Five, whatever.
Wow, MySpace.
Right. So, when I started going out more regularly and posting the pictures and people kept asking, hey, where is this? I didn't know this exists. This is in Jamaica, blah, blah, blah. And I kept, being asked the same questions over and over. I said, all right, well, let me create a blog. Let me just write about these places and just send it to people. So if they want to go, they can know what to expect. And for me, it's productive. It's a creative outlet. I can practice writing.
Right.
And that is how it started. And now we're simplylocal.life 7 years later.
7 years later. Wow. That's big. That's big. I think those things aren't celebrated enough to be dedicated to going out, because you could just enjoy yourself and keep the information to yourself.
Oh yes.
And you are giving people the guide, the information as to where to find this, what to expect.
What my experience was like. Everybody experienced different. But
right.
If you see my experience from a first-hand perspective plus the tips and the insights, you can kind of more picture yourself there and decide, do I want to go there? Can I afford to go there? When is the best time to go there? All these questions, so it makes it easier for you to see yourself there, find new places to go and things to do and experience life in different ways. Simply local life.
So let's talk about like challenges.
Oh, gee.
Because that sound like positive stuff before. So let's talk about the challenges that you would have faced. And still facing as a content creator of 7 years. A blogger of 7 years.
Wow. There's so many. There's pretty much so many positives as well as negatives. So let's say the major challenges. The major challenges, of course, you always feel like you have to create. So even when you're there to enjoy yourself, have a good time, it's like, okay, but I'm also working. So it's not just, it's like you cannot go on a vacation and just have full peace of mind, kind of like, yo, I have to capture this. Even when it's not a job, it becomes so
innate.
Right.
You can't.
It's like, no, I have to show the people,
phone, right?
I have to show the people what going over your soul, you know?
It's a struggle sometimes.
So, you know, you always feel like you have to create, you have to share, and sometimes that can be a lot. And even people who don't work in social media, you know, sometimes you just take breaks and you just want to relax and enjoy yourself. So imagine when you have to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to make time to make the content while you're still trying to balance enjoying yourself and having an authentic experience. So that's one big challenge. You feel like you're always working, even when you're playing. Another big challenge, of course, is creative block. When you're posting consistently and for so long, you don't want to always post the same thing. You have to come up with new ideas and new ways to present it so your audience don't get bored and you can engage new people and grow. So there's definitely that creative burnout when you don't want to post or you don't know what to post, or you feel like you have to post within a certain time, but you know, there's just so much going on that the time is just against you for whatever reason. And I think also what we had said earlier about a lot of brands or sponsors or the decision-making people, a lot of the time they don't appreciate the creative process.
Lord.
Not just content creation, just the creative field in general. Photography, art, you know, the things that are not as tangible or have tangible products, and it's online because everybody's online nowadays. It's kind of like they underappreciate your value because they feel like, oh, me can just get a next man figure do it, but next man not gonna do it the same way you gonna do it.
Exactly.
There's a reason you came to me
in the first place, right?
So yeah, that is a challenge to stand on your value, and sometimes help people to see your value so you can be valued and be respected in certain spaces.
That is it. Well said, because it is such a struggle. I'm so sorry, I'm very passionate about this part.
As you should be.
But sometimes you would say, a brand will reach out to you and they say, hey, I would like this done. And you say, all right, no problem. This is my price. Best believe they're going to tell you, oh, no. That's not what you are worth. Because listen, John Brown around the corner is going to do it for whatever the amount.
But John Brown is not me.
Exactly.
If me buy a patty from Juicy and me buy a patty at Devon House, and at the same price me I go pay.
Exactly.
Which patty you want? You want the Devon House patty? You want the Juicy patty?
Right.
You want the Tasty patty? You want the Mother's patty? Different price points. Which one you want?
Exactly.
Pay the price.
And if you can get it better around John Brown, I think you should go to John Brown.
If
understand?
You know, if you just want anybody, that different. But if you want something specific, that's where it gets a little more complicated on their part, because not everybody is different, clearly, and you're going to want certain things from certain people in a certain way. You want me because of my audience, or you want me because of my engagement, or you want me because you like the way I present content or present myself. You know, John may not do it the same way that I do it.
Brands, we need to cut that. Please.
Please.
We're different people. Please. We have our values, and don't try to ball us down. Not cute. Not cute whatsoever.
And rates are not based on one factor.
No.
At all.
It's not just your following size. It's sometimes your equipment, the value of your equipment. Listen. Please.
And the time.
And the time.
If you just start content create 2 weeks ago versus somebody who had do it for 2 years, the 2 years person should cost more because you're also paying for their experience and their expertise.
Trust me. Biggest struggle. The biggest struggle, as you can see, we're very stressed about
And me,
it.
as a full-time content creator, I go charge you more than somebody that can just do it on the weekend.
Right.
You know?
Or someone else who has something
Like,
else
if this
going
is
on
how
for
I
them.
make my
Yeah.
living, I go charge you more than the person who just want a free stay but me can get a little money. You know?
Yeah, there are different variables.
There's so
with them.
many different variables. You have to cut it out. Me and you have bills.
Exactly.
Exposure and payment.
I think that is it too, you know. They just see content creation as some fun stuff.
Right.
As if we don't have any responsibilities.
Right.
We have
Me still a live
responsibilities,
life,
you know?
you know? Me still a live life.
Oh my goodness.
Regular life.
We're not AIP beta. We really do have bills to pay people.
Ooh,
Get
cup
it
of
together.
coffee.
Get it
Ooh,
together.
Cup of coffee.
Mm.
Ooh, cup of coffee.
Right, roses. Taps in her. Teasing anybody today. We talked about the positives. We talked about your journey. We talked about the positives. We also talked about the negatives. So how do you stay motivated throughout all of this?
I'm not going to say it as if I am always motivated, because sometimes,
Just-
like everything else, you need to seek the motivation.
Yeah.
Sometimes the motivation is your bank account. Sometimes the motivation is you need to just change the environment. You need to go outside to your happy place. For me, that's the mountain or the river, and I just need to reset, come out of my little house, come out of my little cubicle. Sometimes you just need to seek inspiration. You need to look for ideas, see what other people are doing. Yeah, inspiration and motivation are not set things. You just really sometimes have to remember why you started, why you're doing it, what made it worth it in the first place. But you're going to have those moments where you're like, yo, should I be doing this? Should I continue doing this? I can't bother. You know? You have to take breaks, but you also have to do the work. Just like anything. When you have a job, you know, like, what motivates you to get up in the morning? Now your bank account,
The pay at the end of
the
the
bills
month.
that we all have.
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. What are the strategies that you use? Because you have a decent following. What are the strategies that you use to connect with your audience?
Because sometimes I actually feel disconnected from my audience, but that is my perspective. Because when you ask somebody else, you realize they have a totally different perspective than you, because of course you're more critical of yourself. But of course I share a lot of my experiences with my audience, and I try to be my most authentic self, maybe a little more toned down. You're a little more polished than my authentic self, but at the core, I'm still myself, and I think people engage with that. People tell me that they like my personality because I seem relatable, approachable. You know, I'll answer questions, I'll ask questions. A lot of my content is conversational, educational, so I think that's what people look for me for. They look for me to show them new things or show them a new side to something they thought they already knew, and also to educate. So of course people will comment, they're going to ask their questions, and I'll be as responsive as I can, and you know, they will talk amongst themselves. So
Awesome.
I think really just being me, that thankfully that happened to work for me. Just sharing is caring, and people respond to that.
As a content creator, I feel like when you're posting on the internet, people think that we don't have feelings. Strange. Why wouldn't we have feelings? Because we're human beings. But I would have experienced, I'm not sure if you do, experience some negative comments. How do you not tell them about them parts in the comment section? How do you deal with the negative comments that comes your way?
I do get some, not a lot, but I do. And depending on the comment, sometimes I ignore them, because sometimes you can see people just want to say something, or them just want to argue with you. Like you respond, and based on what them respond back, you realize them don't want to understand. Them just want to be seen. Those people, I kind of just leave them to themselves. And for the ones that I do answer, usually I'm very honest because, as I said, most of my content is authentic. So sometimes maybe it's a joke, and people may not see it as a joke, or they may not watch it fully to get the joke and comment before actually scanning the post. And for those, I have pointed out, I said, but if you watch the whole thing, or if you read the whole thing, you would have seen where I have addressed that. Like, I'm very honest, and I'm not rude about it. And if they want to be rude, then we just leave them to themselves. Sometimes other people will answer them for me, and I'll just like those comments and I make them go on about them ways. But I'm not gonna stress me up on my phone.
Right, your phone.
Me don't know them.
Right.
And a lot of them is some fake profile, so it's not even
You're
like...
always buying a fake profile.
I mean, somebody's always going to have something to say.
Yeah.
You can't answer to everything that them throw at you. So you just have to pick. Sometimes you can see where you may be wrong, or you can understand somebody else's point of view. And sometimes you can help them to understand your point. And sometimes they just are hell-bent on misunderstanding. So you just have to pick your poison.
What are some of the most valuable lessons you would have learned on your content creation journey?
Okay. From a business standpoint, because as I say, I do it full time, and I've been doing it full time at this point for most of this journey. Get everything in writing. That's the biggest lesson that I learned. Get everything in writing, and impose penalties when they're late for payments, because that will minimize how late the payments are.
My chest, all of a sudden, my chest.
Mister,
you hit the nail on the head right there.
Because as nice as the people are before you start the work, once them get what they want, them done with you,
They will disappear.
And you have to run them down for the little money,
They will disappear.
Money.
They will disappear.
If you hear the amount of money some people will ghost you for, you could have said, no, I can't mankind this. Mankind can't so wicked. You have to stand on principle. Know your worth. And I mean, as we said earlier, people are going to try and negotiate where they can. And it's up to you whether you want to negotiate or not. It's up to you. But ultimately, you know how much time and effort you put into something. You know how much money you invest into something. Know your worth and stand on it. Of course, you can negotiate some things, but that's up to your discretion. But make people respect you. From a business standpoint, you have to have contracts in place.
Right. You
have to have agreements in place. You have to have invoices, receipts. It's a business. If you get paid for it, that is, and things have to be in writing, because people will conveniently forget what they said, or leave out certain details, and then that puts you in a pickle. So I think from a business standpoint, those are my two most important lessons. Get everything in writing, and impose a late fee upon your invoices, because that is when me stop run down money, or significantly less, when we put in late fee and say, alright, if it's such and such late, you have to pay me this much more, or we now work together again. And usually them go on work well for me, thankfully. Them want to work with me again, so that's what has worked for me.
That's a good point. That was a really good point, because I think that is a huge pain point for a lot of content creators.
Yes.
The money aspect. So yes, you deliver your work and you did your best. You work so till you work hard and you deliver the work, and them love it. Them get the views now and the likes and the followers. But when a time for...
You can't hear from them.
You're missing. You understand? They're missing in action. You understand? And as you would have said, you would have agreed on this, and by the time the work done and delivered and them don't get their end of the bargain, missing. Oh, I never remember this. So definitely get it in writing, like she said. Important.
And get a deposit before you do any work.
Oh, Jesus. Preach. Hallelujah.
Get a deposit before you start work. As I said, as them get what them want, there's no urgency to pay you. Them don't get what them need already.
That's it. And you can't take back the followers and the likes and the comments, so definitely get a deposit down. But that's a very good point, and I want to ask, because I know people have a struggle with this as well, is pricing themselves. So I don't know if you want to give them any tips in terms of how you go about pricing yourself. Like, what do you take into consideration when you're coming up with your pricing for a brand?
For me, I take into consideration my audience size, because of course that keeps growing. So the bigger my audience is, the more you're going to pay, because that's the more exposure you're going to get, as well as what services they want. So because content creation is so wide, there's so many things I could do. I could do social media posts, I could do a blog article, I can do photos, videos, there's other things I do, unboxing, speaking engagements, different things. So the services and how much time it requires me to do it, as well as how much time it took me to acquire the skill. Because when you go to university, and you spend 4 years getting a degree, you're getting paid for the time that you invested. That's when correct. You get a job.
That's correct.
You're paying you for your expertise,
right,
and experience.
Right.
So audience size, services, how much time and money it brings out of me, because of course, as a travel blogger, some blog jobs I have to travel, so it going to cost me gas,
right? You have
and toll,
right?
Airfare sometime,
right?
Hotel stay,
right?
All of these things. So really, yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of different factors.
Okay.
Drone video costs more than phone video.
Gotcha.
Costs more than Nikon and Canon camera, video, photo. Right. Equipment. You have to pay for the equipment, and the equipment not cheap.
Them not cheap. The lens on some of these cameras aren't cheap. So you see when these photographers, the camera itself not cheap. They have to have the extra battery. They have to get the light. They have to get the reflector.
They have to edit the photo.
They have to edit. The
editing takes longer than the captures.
Yes.
Editing photos take longer than taking the picture. Them.
Yes.
That's what people don't understand.
They don't. They think you just literally click on the send.
That's another thing. If me sending you my content that you can use for advertising, so I also giving you my usage rights.
Right.
So you can use my content without watermark and whatever in your ads. That's a whole different price than if me just posting it on my page. There's so many different factors.
Okay.
So you kind of have to know what you are investing, both time and money wise, as well as how much use and mileage the business can get from it.
All right. So I have one final question, which I believe is the most it's very spicy, so I'm gonna get us some drinks.
Oh Jesus!
Let's get a shot. Let me get you a shot to loosen you up a bit, even though you already well, hold on, let me tell about that. That's not what I mean. I don't want this to be misconstrued, so let me go again.
I'm getting negative feedback.
I'm gonna get negative comments. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm gonna get her to, answer me the right way. Come on, want to dig it out, you understand? Right? This question I ask a lot because I have struggled with it. I'm gonna want your feedback. So I'm gonna tell me the realest way, right? So I'm gonna get a shot and come back your weight. Dum dum dum.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, it's it looks like a urinal. I got this from this wonderful brand called...
You look, you said it's not your line.
Right? Fairly Odd Novelties. They have...
Fairly Odd.
They have...
appropriate. It's very appropriate.
They have novelty products.
Good branding.
Good branding.
Jesus. Whoa.
So we have to take a shot.
Man, I wet up myself.
Ooh. Ooh. Cheers. Ready?
Why? Good morning.
Good morning.
Why?
Good morning. Alright, so here's my final question to you. Yeah, man. You're loosening up now? You ready?
Not loose, but...
Because loose have different meanings, guys. Get in the head out the gutter. Or is it my head that is in the gutter?
Where is your head?
No,
I have to clip this out. This is going too bad now. I think the novelty is made me a little too loose.
What's that song with Tippin? Getting with the goose, got me feeling loose. Blame it on the alcohol. In my opinion, my experience, can only speak from my experience. I don't know about anybody else, but I find that the content creation space can be a little competitive.
Okay.
Right? I don't know about the male side of it, but I know about the female side of it, and it can be very competitive or
When you say
catty.
competitive,
Ooh.
wait, hold on.
And
Without saying too much, we
without
want to make sure I
saying too
understand what
much.
you're saying. When you say competitive, what do you mean?
You know, gatekeeping is going on. It's
okay. This is true.
bad
yes.
manism is going on. It's I'm better than you, so I won't give you info. Well, that's still gatekeeping. That's going on. It's not wanting to interact with other people because for whatever reason.
Okay, I understand.
That is what I
saying.
mean by it can get catty. Sometimes they stand in the doorway and they will pass on messaging like, that's not a good person to work with. So it's very I've seen it. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just throwing things out there like that, right?
So the privileges you have as a social media manager,
yes,
you can see a little bit.
I can see a little bit of it, the conversations and so on. So what I'm asking you now today is, in your experience working in the space, have you ever experienced any situation at all, any slight something, but you're not sure about whatever, where you've gotten a bad vibe, where someone may have said you are copying them, or them a block your blessing, or them a try to talk bad about you, or she not worth that, or those kind of things? Have you ever experienced that at all?
Off my head, from a content creation to content creation space, not directly that I can recall. I've had brands or sponsors say what you just said in terms of, I don't think you're worth that. But then if they're honest about how they feel, like if them don't like your pricing or something, and them say it, that creates room for conversation versus them just don't say nothing to you. And sometimes that conversation can lead to, okay, I understand your point of view, or we can amicably agree to not work together. But from the content creator standpoint, I have seen it, but not directly at me. I have observed it and heard it with other content creators. And for me, I don't work with any and everybody. I'm a very observant person. And going back to one of our earlier points, a lot of brands, they pick people based off of a sole thing. The most
followers that you have.
Followers would be the most common thing. They will look on your followers before them look on your content, your personality, your alignment with their brand, and they'll just pick you because them say, oh, you have 50,000 followers, but then them don't realize that their brand does not align with the content creator, so it doesn't work the way they want it to work out, because their audience doesn't respond to that, and some, as I said earlier, some like me do it for business, where some do it because them get little freeness, or them get a little link somewhere. And sometimes you'll see, or I will see on press trips, I will see who I believe is serious, that I can see myself working with, and who I think just there for vibes. Because I will go to press trips with a lot of content creators, and I will see some, it's like them just dead. Them do record nothing, or them post bare minimum, and I'm like, what are you here for? Did you come here to work, or did you just come here to be here and post 2 pictures? Like, you're not promoting the brand, you're not helping the brand. Because I also watch what they do on and offline. So for me, I have indirectly seen gatekeeping. I've seen people who seem cliquish. I've seen
the cliques,
like, Jesus, where some people have started, I've seen their starting point of their journey, and I've seen them accelerate to certain points. Good for them. But it's like sometimes when them accelerate to certain points, it's like them do talk to your way, and you feel like it's because them feel like them bigger than you. You know, you
I've
see them
heard
start hang out with different people,
I've heard that.
and when them see you out, them go on like them not know you.
Oh.
Like you have to hail them first.
Oh,
and I'm like,
had
that's
that.
why are we like this all of a sudden?
Yeah,
You know,
we literally share the same room. What's going on, sis?
like that's personal.
What's going on, sis?
I've observed it.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely observed it, and I've definitely heard other content creators talk about it. But because see, I live good with people.
Yeah.
If it has happened, I have not come across it.
Mm-hmm.
I just observe people and I act accordingly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. This is again one of the reasons why I want to have these content creator chats. I would have started it some time ago, but I didn't really follow up, so I wanted to relaunch because again, from both standpoints, just sitting in the different seats, in both seats, I just see that there's just this disconnect. You don't have to be this hard, content creation don't have to be this hard. But I think it's the lack of information. We're not having the conversation. People are keeping their mouth closed because I think really and truly we just don't know. We're all trying to figure it out all at the same time.
All of us.
And that is the problem. So I just hope that having these conversations will bring to light, again, the myths, the misconceptions, the pros and the cons, all of the above, every information that is necessary. Content creation, if we can have more of it, then I think it don't have to be difficult. It should be a mutually benefiting situation.
Yeah, and should
It
be
shouldn't
more
be
transparent.
Yeah, but
should
people
be
don't
more-
want to share stuff again, and so there's this gatekeeping, and it's just crazy. I don't like it.
And I think especially in Jamaica, where it is not considered a traditional job, because in first world countries,
It's a whole different
you can live off it.
You can live off of it.
Right. In Jamaica, where it's not considered a traditional job, people still think, oh, you have a lot of followers and it's a hobby. It shouldn't really be that much for you. We don't have the conversation about it. We don't talk about money where content creation is concerned. And because it's not, a regular thing, brands and sponsors know them can get it cheaper somewhere else. So it all comes down to if them want you. And them say, oh, yeah, charge money. Me know somebody who are gonna do it for free.
So that is also why I think it's cheaper elsewhere now, because people not talking about what the average price point is. So everybody
Or that there is a price.
Or that there is a price. So people just doing things just for doing sake. And again, this is why if we have the conversation, then them know, all right, this is the standard. It's like how you just said about the pricing. You have to include the fact that you have to go travel, the fact that you have to go use the equipment. People don't know that, so them just lowballing the whole thing.
Right. And them always have to ball down the
benefits.
price. Them
Yes.
always 9 out of 10 times them have to ball down the price. I am grateful for the handful of businesses that say, say your price too low. I'm gonna say big up you.
Oh my God.
Big up you.
I struggled with that, because at the end of the day, again, I didn't have a reference point to say, oh, this is what the standard is for the
especially in
the
Jamaica.
industry.
US and
is a whole
England, me know
different
what the
game.
price is.
Yeah, because people are also transparent over there, so we
Yes.
don't know why we so close mouth. But
Because
I think
a lot of people don't do it.
But also, I think they're also trying to close the door so that you don't come in and take them job.
This is
because
also true,
they're
because
also
the
have a
opportunities
limited.
are so
Yes,
little bit
that
in-
is what it is.
Yeah, the paying opportunities
Is
at least
limited.
is very limited. So it's like,
But it is
I make it
limited.
known so nobody else
Right.
can come in and get my coin.
Yeah. So that is what it is. I think if we all just did work together. Hey. But
I mean,
because
if you do
they're
it
knocking
for the free stay and the perks, that
I'm
is
not
up to
saying
you.
that cannot be a thing,
You can do that.
but everybody's situation is different. And some people are actually, this is their full-time job. So you can't just do free stay all day long.
Right.
You have to pay bills.
Come and have the bills. The
The
bills
bills.
not stop.
And that's my thing about it. You're literally benefiting from it. You're getting more. I'm not going to tell you no lie. I've heard it so
Same
many
way
times.
how people will pay for a newspaper ad for
But
get
you would pay-
exposure.
and
You
it's
go pay
cheaper.
online ad for exposure. You go pay,
You go pay
Facebook
TVG and then
for
people
boost
there
it.
for boost your
Same
stuff.
way me putting it on my platform and
the same
boosting it to
thing.
a different audience.
And it's more authentic, because let me tell you something. If them see you something and you
Them
say,
going to
oh,
believe it more.
Them will believe it more than
Versus
an ad.
if you as your business post it, you have to talk
Come
good
on,
about your
man.
business. But if me as a consumer talk
Come
good
on,
about your
man.
business, people are more going to be more receptive to it.
Exactly.
If you are granny caterers, you have to say, the food nice, And people are gonna say, but you have to say that. But if me go and say, yo, the food nice, and I say, you know, say I've been to something that she did before and it was good. Let me think about this one. You know, like
I have sat and have observed from a social media manager standpoint where little brands not known and one person, one influencer, one content creator say, oh, you know, some got a restaurant here and them have a bad piece of curry goat and all of a sudden no, you can't get no space to go to these people in place because there's always a line. Like you don't even understand the value.
And sometimes it don't have to be one of them big content creator
just
influencer. It's just the one video, the one photo that just look exceptional, and you know the algorithm deliver it to the right people, and you say, yo, Ray, yo, you know how much people get free promo off of me?
I'm telling you, where's
when I say free promo, like people that call me and say, yo, oh, me can book, me say talk to them, go over this, over this, I do not have direct relations with these people. I just thought it was a good business and I thought to share about it. But of course, them things say, yo, you have the link.
Yeah.
How me can book, how me can reserve. Me say, go talk to them.
See?
Go talk to them. I have clients that can attest to that.
That's right. So what we're trying to say is in 2024, you know, we want to level up in Jamaica specifically. Come on. We can get to a level. I think we have good content creators here.
Definitely.
So let's try to make it more mutually beneficial because you want your brands to be known by more people and we want some money in our pockets. So that's just how it goes, right? Cool. That was such a good conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. As you can see, go down in it because it's true, it's real. It's just what our life is right now. And I just hope that this conversation will help to, you know, help people to understand what's going on and for us to make better decisions.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a very good content creator, you know, chats. I can't really have these conversations with everybody because they won't necessarily understand.
Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody who can talk a little bit from both sides of it. So yeah, this was fun. Hope you learned some. I'm sure you must have learned some comedy chat, you know. We chat.
Wait, we're talking, and the rum gave us, you know, a little courage.
And burn
in our chest. Now we have to go. You know, ironically, we're on a press trip right now, so we need to go and create the people them content. You understand? So if you want to see where we are, make sure that you follow us both. Check us out to see where we at. So you can know if you need to come here or not. So if you like this video and you want to make it a thing, you have to run it up in the comment section. Make sure you like, make sure you comment. Let me know also in the comment section who you want to hear me talk to next. Right? Because we want to make it a thing.
I mean, come back. Just so you know, I'm an option.
Drop the questions in the comment section.
What you want to know from me.
What do you want to know?
We can do a part 2, 3, 4.
We can do a part 2. If you want a part 2, say that in the comment section. Until next time, guys. Peace out.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.